Hi, this is Jess with Flower Moxie, and today we're going to be making a tropical floral arrangement. Now, working with tropicals is a little bit different than working with, per se, roses or carnations, or more of like a garden-y style. You're gonna be working with leaves and a lot of times larger blossoms like ginger or birds of paradise, things like that, Heliconia that might seem a little unwieldy to you. So we're gonna unload all of that in the video today, and I'm gonna show you how to make a beautiful tropical arrangement. So to start with, specifically, there's a lot of different vases that you can use. For today's tutorial, we're gonna be using this vase here. It's about 5 to 6 inches in diameter, but then it's also about, I would say, 8 inches tall. This is going to be and it's pretty heavy. This is like a significant vase. The reason I chose this for this video and to make this arrangement is that the size and weight of this vase are going to allow me to create an arrangement that won't tip over. A lot of tropical flowers are very top heavy. You'll see like those really large, impressive blooms that are right at the top. They're really heavy. They can be a couple of pounds. So you want a vase that's going to be stable enough to hold up your arrangement. This one's really great. I like that I'm using something that has mercury glass to it. It's really fun, a little bit different. If you are kind of just wanting to go down to your local Dollar Tree or craft store and are looking for something that's a little bit more simple, want like a clean, modern look, I would go with a glass cylinder. Now, this one is gonna be about, I would say like 12 to 14 inches high. Again, it's probably going to be about 5 inches wide. This is gonna be really great. Think of like this as just a cylinder without this foot here. And this is gonna, again, give you enough of a weight to withhold and create like a really expansive arrangement. It's gonna be a little bit different of a size, but this would be a really easy solution when sourcing vases for your girls' night or when you're creating a tropical arrangement on your own. So one of the things that's really important when working with tropicals is that you want to create your base, your structure inside of the vase. It's really easy to do with stems that are really chunky, like this here, like these are chunky stems. They're gonna really help to hold everything together. They're not gonna be flimsy. Another way of doing that is to use curly willow. Here's kind of like a fun way of doing it. I'll take this is 5 stems, and I kind of will just group it together. And then I start kind of twisting it and wrapping it around one another. Almost like creating this amorphous shape, and I kind of just shove it down into the vase. I'm gonna leave some of it a little bit whimsical and wild because I like that look. But if you were to look inside the vase, you'll see that it's started to create almost like a grid structure inside of there. What I'm doing now is I'm almost like using this natural element as my chicken wire. And that's kind of the purpose that it's going to serve, while also being kind of like a fun decorative element. This would be really pretty too in a clear glass container if you're worried about not wanting anyone to see your mechanics. Using curly willow as in this kind of wrapping motion, shoving it down inside of your vase, people will see the willow itself inside of your clear vase without seeing chicken wire or foam or anything to that extent. It's kind of like a nice, natural, beautiful little moment there. Next, I'm gonna start going in with my kind of chunkier leaves. Another fun thing that you can do too is if you have like a really long leaf, such as this leaf here, and it seems like a little disproportionate to the size vase that you're using, if you take the leaf, kind of hold it at the tip, bring it down to where it starts to kind of creep out from the stem, kind of almost wrap it around there. I'm gonna take a piece of bind wire and I'm just gonna wrap it around. It's gonna hold it in place. And then cuts down on the size of my leaf So I can still use it really easily in this size arrangement, which is a little bit more of like a mid size. and also adds another like really fun decorative point of interest. So now, as you're gonna see with like a lot of tropical stems, typically like this one, Heliconia, Bird's Paradise, Ginger, this is like a really chunky stem, and this is a very heavy flower. So definitely I'm gonna need to cut this down. To keep my arrangement from being too top heavy, I'm actually gonna cut this down quite a bit. And I'm just using regular scissors. These are my regular snips. The stems are pretty soft, so I can kind of cut right down through that. You don't need like super heavy duty shears for this. If you've got them, totally fine, but it's not necessary. One of the things that I find really important to do when making an arrangement with things that are like really heavy and chunky is that I definitely want to play with my height. I want to be able to cut things pretty short so they're going to rest on the lip of the vase, while others I'm going to leave a little bit taller, so that way I'm going to have a nice balance and structure. So as you can see, I'm kind of like working with a lot of different height levels here. I tucked this down really close to the lip of the vase. I let other things kind of float above, and I'm gonna keep coming in with my greenery to kind of also create more of an expansive shape. With larger greens like this Fishtail Palm, which I just cut in half, I can kind of use one piece that's a little bit taller, tuck that in, and then I can save this smaller piece, and then I'm going to use it kind of tucked in right at the lip of the vase to, you know, give me a nice, like little, almost creating like a collar. So I'm gonna wanna try to hide the edge of the vase as much as possible, because that's definitely like not the prettiest part. We also have these adorable little mini pineapples, because I mean, what is cuter than that? I want to leave these a little bit longer because I really want them to stand out. And then I always come in with my most delicate stems last, and these are going to be the ones that I want to kind of float above everything else. So everything else is pretty solid, pretty chunky, I would say. Everyone loves a chunky arrangement. And then these are going to add my little bit of whimsicality to it. And a lot of times too, when I'm making an arrangement, I really try to, you know, the first part of, or where I place a flower might not always be the best place to place it. One of the things that I like to do is really try to move things around. You know, I'll spin my arrangement. I want to make sure that I'm, you know, looking at it from all angles, so it will inform me like, oh, I have maybe a little bit of a hole here. I want to put something in. I try to give myself a little bit of grace that, you know, it doesn't always have to be perfect on the first try. I can, you know, try things out, move it around. If it doesn't work someplace, I can find a place. Or sometimes also too, I've thought I've chosen the most perfect flower, and then I try to use it and it doesn't work with everything else that's in there. So I have to kind of pivot and I have to make a different decision, but it's always gonna be how I want it to be in the end, which I think is the most important part. So here we have a really fun and funky tropical arrangement. I've used a lot of different elements here. Definitely kept with a warmer color palette. I love pinks and oranges. They're one of my favorites, and who doesn't love that bright tropical green? A lot of times this is just having fun and letting different shapes and colors speak to you. So I'd love to hear how you love to use tropical arrangements. Leave any comments in our below, and we'll see you next time.